Hey everyone, welcome back to the Parterre.
It's time for us to stop and smell the roses because today we are planting a rose garden. Now that the parterre has structure in place, we've got beautiful base plants with the hydrangeas, it's time to add some romance with roses.
Oh, I love romance in the garden. Today we are moving back to the center of the parterre and we're going to plant 6 beautiful roses.
I am very excited about this part of the parterre. We got so much inspiration when we were in London at Kew Gardens. They have the most beautiful rose garden and there are quite a lot of varieties planted throughout. And you know, when we used to think of planting roses, we would think, you know, let's plant in drifts of 3 or maybe just pop 1 in and have other perennials around it. But going to Kew just made us realize that you could have a whole garden of just roses, and so that's exactly what we're gonna do here in the parterre. So we've got 6 completely different varieties of roses. There is not going to be any rose that is repeated here in this part of the garden, and we're gonna use this as kind of a testing ground. You know, we might have some of these roses to use as cut flowers to bring inside for arrangements. We might use this as a testing spot to see if maybe there is another rose we wanna put out in the landscape, and maybe we'll dig it up and transplant it or go and get some more. We're just gonna kind of let the space evolve over the years and enjoy the roses as they come into flower every year and see where things take us. If we're being truly honest with ourselves, I have always wanted roses in the garden. Brian is a recent convert.
Gosh, okay, have been proven wrong and I love roses. There, are you happy?
I think you actually like roses more than I do.
I think I do. Honestly, the petals in roses and just the different kinds of roses that they are so interesting and so unique. And honestly, a long time ago, I thought roses were a thing that my grandma would have in her garden, and I didn't want that. And now that I'm a grandma myself, I really enjoy it.
Okay. So when we were thinking about the roses that we wanted for this space, we had a few pieces of criteria that they had to meet. They, of course, had to be a beautiful color. We are not folks that plant red anywhere in our garden, so there's not going to be a red rose here. Although one of the roses that we chose, as the bud was emerging, it seemed like it was going to be red and I got nervous, but it is not. So we're good there. We also wanted to make sure that we chose roses that we could see ourselves planting out in the garden somewhere. Not something that we just, you know, we're gonna put it here in the parterre and it doesn't fit anywhere else in our space. We really wanted this to be an opportunity to choose roses that we might want to put somewhere else in the garden later on if they perform well for us. The other thing that we wanted to consider was the number of petals.
Yeah.
So most rose varieties now will tell you the number of petals when you're picking them out. And then the last piece of criteria, of course, is scent. We've got a wide variety of scents here that will be in the rose garden, and I'm excited to kind of smell those and compare and contrast. A couple of weeks ago, we were at Brian's parents and we planted a rose that was labeled as a spicy scent.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've only ever smelled roses that kind of have your typical, like, lemony rose scent. And so I'm excited to see how some of these roses smell. So throughout our travels over the years, we have seen so many different kinds of rose gardens, and we have just felt so inspired to add more roses here in our garden, and adding a dedicated space in the parterre felt like the perfect opportunity.
It feels like the thing that our garden has been missing, and all of these different places that we have visited over the years, they had very specific rose gardens that were dedicated to just growing roses, and we've had roses growing around the garden in different places for a few years now, but I feel like this is gonna feel truly special and like we were in those places that we were traveling to.
The biggest inspiration I can think of was Kew Gardens in London. We were so inspired by the rose garden there. I mean, it was just filled up with all different colors, all different types, and they were just planted out on their own. And so we thought we could do a little bit of an edit of that and bring that home here. We also went to the International Rose Test Garden in Portland, Oregon last year. And I mean, that was the most roses I've ever seen in one spot.
Yeah, they packed them all in. They sort of saw it's obviously a test garden, so I'm sure that they changed those roses out from time to time. But people just flocked to that rose garden because they were so beautiful when they were in bloom. And I want our garden to be something that when we have guests over and we have garden tours, people just get to experience flowers in a different way. We also can't forget the David Austin Roses exhibit at the Chelsea Flower Show that we saw a few years ago. Now, we walked through this exhibit and it was overflowing with roses. Obviously, you guys are familiar with David Austin Roses. They are an English rose breeder that has been around for ages, and it was just so interesting to see all the different rose varieties that they have available, but all sort of crammed into this small space. And I know our space is on the small side, but that exhibit sort of makes me feel like we can do anything we want.
Yeah, and then there were also roses packed in at the castle that we stayed at in Scotland last fall. There was some boxwood hedging and they just kind of dotted roses throughout. And so I think we're gonna pull a little bit of inspiration from all of these places.
I love it. I feel like it's time to travel again.
So why don't we get the roses in place and then we'll tell you about each variety. Now we are in the middle of summer here in North Carolina, and there is not much to see on these roses that we're going to be planting today, but we are going to walk through every single one and show you some gorgeous pictures so that you can start to envision this rose garden and how it's going to fill in over the years. So in this rose garden, we're going to be planting 6 roses. We have 3 across the row in the back and 3 across the row in front, which is pretty easy.
Well, I thought we could have fit 8, but Tyler said no.
It was too much. We have to restrain ourselves from going a little bit crazy here. So the first rose that we're going to be planting is called Loves Me, Loves Me Not from Bloomables. Now this is a very deep pink rose, and the scent notes on this are lilac and pineapple, which I've never smelled a rose that smells like that before. And this one is going to have up to 250 petals per bloom.
Wow. So this one was in bloom when we were planting it, and the bud sort of came out deep red, and Tyler was a little bit afraid that we were going to have deep red roses in the garden. Not something we would typically have, but when it opened up, it was this gorgeous pink color. It was very full, and I can attest, the fragrance was amazing.
This rose is going to get about 5 feet tall and 3 feet wide, so it is going to be perfect on the back row. This rose is from Bloomables, and it is a hybrid tea rose, which are a little bit more of a modern rose. They have a little bit larger flowers, a little bit more of an upright structure. And I feel like we've got a little bit of a good combination here with the things you're going to be planting between the modern hybrid tea roses and some English roses.
Next up is Top Cream. This is another rose from Bloomables, and it is going to have huge, beautiful, creamy white roses with a light pink center. This one's going to be about 6 feet tall, 3 feet wide, and I think it is a great addition to this back row.
I'm excited about this one because the scent of this one is pear.
Ooh.
I know it probably feels like I'm obsessing over the scent, but I just love having different smells in the garden. It just adds another layer of senses to the space.
Now this one is another hybrid tea rose, and it's going to have up to 100 petals.
Our third rose is our first English shrub rose in this garden. We're planting the Poet's Wife from David Austin. Now, my parents actually have this rose in their garden. It is one that we gifted them when my grandparents passed away, and so I thought this would be a really nice touch for us to remember our grandparents and other folks in our lives that have passed on here. And we've placed it right on the edge, so as you're walking into the parterre, it's gonna be one of the first blooms that you'll actually see. It has a beautiful, bright, soft yellow color, and this one has a scent of lemon, which I feel like is somewhat traditional for a rose.
Yeah.
And the size of this one is about 4 by 4 with a rough petal count of 77 petals.
Wow. Now our next rose is Winchester Cathedral, and this is actually the third time that we have moved this rose. It's one of the first roses that we ever put in the garden, and we have loved it so much we've moved it from garden to garden as the garden has changed, and this rose garden is going to be the perfect place for this. So this rose is another white rose. This one has a little touch of blush in it sometimes, and it is going to be a beautiful addition to this garden.
This one gets about 4 by 4, so we're gonna put this on the front row, right in front of that Loves Me, Loves Me Not, which gets about 5 feet tall. So it'll be a really nice pairing together. Our 5th rose here in the rose garden is Carding Mill from David Austin Roses. This is another beloved rose that we've had in our garden for quite some time.
Yes.
This is also going to be the 3rd spot for this one. This one gets about 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide again. It's got a beautiful peachy apricot color that kind of ages to a soft pink, and it carries sort of a softer scent of myrrh, which is not very pungent, but if you put your nose down in it, it does smell really nice.
This is one of the roses in the garden that I have been checking up on for years, and I love walking by to smell this rose, so I think it's going to be great here.
This is going to be placed right in front of the top cream rose, which if you'll remember, gets 6 feet tall. So we'll have a really tall back row and a shorter front row, so you'll be able to see those peach and white blooms together.
Okay, so this last rose is one that we are super excited about. We are inviting the queen to our garden. It's the Martha Stewart Rose.
So this is the brand new for 2026 Martha Stewart Rose from Bloomables. And Martha really wanted a rose that would symbolize her lifelong devotion to gardening with a beautiful pink apricot color, a full bloom, and a beautiful fragrance. And I feel like they really hit the nail on the head with this one.
Yes, this is a gorgeous rose. The shape of the petals when it's in bloom. We're so lucky that this one's in bloom when we're planting it because it is just incredible and it smells incredible.
I'm really excited about the scent of this rose because it has 3 scents that I think are just going to be really unique together. It's got bergamot, honeysuckle, and lemon verbena. And let me tell you, I wish you could smell this through the TV because it smells incredible.
Do you think Martha's gonna be happy in our garden?
I hope so. Now this rose gets about 3 by 3, so it is another shorter variety. So we're gonna place it on the front row, right in front of the Poet's Wife. I think they're gonna play really nicely together because the Poet's Wife will just get a little bit taller, but as you're walking into the parterre, you'll see the pink rose of Martha and that yellow Poet's Wife together, and it's gonna make for a beautiful combination.
Now, you guys know we have really heavy clay here, and anytime we're planting roses, we like to add in some pine bark fines and, of course, biotone. And the pine bark fines are going to just aid with drainage to make sure that these roses are happy in our soil.
We were able to plant the back row of roses with ease. There were no problems at all. And then once we got to the Winchester Cathedral and the Carding Mill, those actually need to be transplanted from the old cottage bed garden. So Brian is digging those up. And once we started digging the hole for those, we ran into those deadly irrigation pipes yet again.
You know it was time. They had to resurface sometime.
Listen, those things are going to keep me up at night, and luckily we didn't break them, but we did get very, very close to them with the auger. So we kind of stopped and made the holes work with our hands, and we were good to go. If you watched our previous episode where we planted the flowerful hydrangeas, you'll remember that I did add drip irrigation into this flower bed, and I will be coming back to add drip lines along each row of roses, but it is really, really hot today, and so that's gonna be a future us problem, and we're gonna do it at a later date.
We'll get them watered in today and then be watering by hand until we add that irrigation. All right, so that's all of our roses. Let's go take a look.
Welcome to our rose garden.
Well, there's not much to see right now, so we're gonna have to use our imaginations a little bit.
Yeah, they're a little mad at us right now.
But I cannot wait to see all of these different colors together in this space. We just have really not ever had all these big blooms in one sort of confined space together.
We also have shoved roses in spots where they're not quite getting enough sun,
Yes.
and so they haven't bloomed properly. And so I think here, out in the middle, where they're getting full sun most of the day, I mean, they're really gonna thrive.
Yes, I also really love that this secondary pathway is now sort of an attraction because of these roses. I mean, I'm gonna wanna walk through here and sort of inspect every single one of the roses, and I feel like that's just really exciting. There's something like fun on this side.
I can't wait to see what it looks like next spring. I'm so excited that we finally added a little bit of romance here in the parterre garden with some colorful roses.
I feel like we need a date night now.
Ooh, yeah. Next spring, this area behind us is going to be bursting with color.
It's gonna be beautiful. Now there's only 2 more planting areas before this parterre is complete.
Can't believe we're almost done.
Thanks for joining us today in the parterre.
We'll see you right back here next week.
Next week in the parterre.